and welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen, and today I'm going to be making a soap by request I got on YouTube. Actually, no, it was a request on Instagram to make a full milk goat milk soap. Normally I do milk and oil method. Well, today I'm going to do full milk, and I will show you how I melt my silk to go in a full milk soap, because you have to start with frozen milk. So melting the silk can be a little bit of a challenge, but I found a workaround, so I'll bring you along as I do that. The fragrance that I'm using today is OAKMOSS Sandalwood from Nature's Garden. Wow, this is nice. I have never soaped with this before, but it smells fantastic. It got good reviews. I'm really hopeful that this is gonna, stick through. It had a good scent retention review, so I'm hoping good things for this. It does have a little vanillin, so it says it discolors to tan, and that's fine because it is sort of a woodsy, masculine, if you will, scent, which of course I love. But so the tan is fine with me. The colors. I'm going to do a color swirl in this using, I have my Workshop Heritage Jungle Green. I have to hold it out because I don't have my readers on. Okay, Jungle Green kind of matches my shirt a little. Isn't that beautiful? So we'll do that along with Blackberry from Nurture Soap. And I love this color, that sort of eggplant plum color. I thought those two looked really beautiful. So those are going to be the color swirl in our full milk soap today. And I think that's it. I'm not planning anything fancy on top, just maybe scoopy top or a swirl, or we'll see how it's behaving. Again, I've never soaped with this fragrance before, so we'll see how everything's going and decide on the top when we get there. Let me get everything pulled together and get my frozen milk out, and we'll come back and start prepping our lye solution for this soap today. So come along, let's make some soap. All right, I'm getting all ready to do my full milk goat milk soap here. So this is frozen goat milk. I like to work at a very steep water discount. I do about 25 to 28% water. A lot of people will do 33 for discount, but I work with a steep discount. So I've got my goat milk measured out here, less 2 ounces. So I saved off 2 ounces of distilled water, and that is how I'm going to melt my silk to go in here. Because this is frozen, it will not get hot enough to melt my silk because I'm going to add the lye so slowly. So let's do the little silk portion first, and then this is not really a big deal. I'm just going to take my lye here and add it very slowly and stir, 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 and if you go really slow, it's very tedious, and just take your time and don't rush it. The goat milk won't turn bright orange. It'll stay a nice creamy color, and this lye will melt all of that goat milk beautifully. And so anyway, that's just a slow, tedious process. So let's deal with the silk. Here is my 2 ounces of distilled water that I just lessed from here. I still call it a full milk because that's a whole lot of milk right there, and this is just a teeny little bit of water. So here is my Tussa silk fibers. I buy it in bulk, and I just keep it in this container. So I'm going to pull out, try to find the end here. Comes in big ropes like this, and I'm just going to snip off a little cotton ball size. You cannot measure, whoops, sorry. You can't measure this. It is so light. It's wouldn't even register on even the most sensitive scales. So there's no measurement. I'm just saying a cotton ball size. And I'm going to snip this up in my water. Because this is full milk with all the wonderful lactic acids and stuff, I'm not doing any sugar in this soap today. Don't need it. This is all about the milk. So anyway, there is my silk. Here is my lye. And because this is going to go in there after it's all cooled, it doesn't matter if I take some lye out of here. This is all going in the same pot anyway. So I have a stainless steel spoon. Don't use aluminum. Lye, sodium hydroxide does well in certain types of plastics, stainless steel, and glass. But do not use aluminum with your lye. So, all right, stainless steel baby spoon. And I'm just going to plop in a couple here till it starts to heat up, and it'll melt that. There we go. And just stir, stir, and I can see it starting to steam. Stand back, you don't want those fumes, and it's getting nice and warm, and the silk is dissolved. So that is how I add silk to a full milk soap. I have to take an ounce. You could even do it with an ounce of water, but I like to do 2 ounces just so I have plenty of room to stir. So there it is. That is my silk water. after I get all of my lye incorporated in here, I will go ahead and add this into the bucket. So silk melted. Let's get on to the next one here. I'm going to set this off to the side in a safe place where it won't get bumped. Here we go. Just sprinkle over the top, and it kind of feels silly at first because you have these big ice chunks and they don't really do anything, but it'll start to very slowly melt, and it just takes patience, which I am not famous for, which is why I've been loving my milk and oil method, because it's so quick. But this is a fabulous way to get a lot of goat milk in your soap. So this will be a really wonderful bar, because this will have lots and lots of wonderful creamy goat's milk. All ready to do soap additives right now. This is all the oils and butters, and there's no milk and oil method because it's all in the lye solution. But before I get to that, I made a change. I said I was going to use this blackberry color, and I only have a little left, and I needed it for another project, so I swapped that out for this caramel brown butterscotch. I thought these two looked beautiful, and since it's a sandalwood, OAKMOSS sandalwood, I thought that was more earthy looking. So this is the color swap that we're doing today, and I think I'm going to do an in the pot swirl. I just kind of was thinking about how to approach this, and so I think I'm going to go for the in the pot swirl. So today we're going to do our colloidal oats in here and our kaolin clay, and that's it for the additives in the oils today. I'm not going to do the heavy cream powder. I just really want the goat milk, the full goat milk, to speak for itself and all its wonderful goodness. So let me get these dry ingredients blended in, and then we will get moving forward. All right, it's time to get to our lye mixture. And again, this is the goat milk with the silk water in here, and I did add some sodium lactate after it started cooling down or everything was melted. And I add sodium lactate at a rate of 1 teaspoon per pound of oils. That's how I measure it, and I just like how it unmolds. So this is thick, and there's a little bit of, not chunkage, but you can see some graininess. Well, what that is milk has natural fats in it, and it's saponifying with the lye, and it's no big deal. That'll mix out in here. You know, it's a little bit of a, what's it called? The heat transfer method going on in the milk thing here. So if you're doing a full milk with a whole milk product, that has some fat in it, you might see that little graininess, and don't let that throw you off. It's all just fine and wonderful. So it'll make for wonderful soap. It's just the fats in there. Okay, I've got my colors dispersed in a little distilled water in their pots off to the side. And we'll just come up to emulsion and see how everything's behaving. I have my fragrance off to the side, and I'll add it after we get everything blended. So let's get this in here. I personally don't like how milk smells with lye. It gets I don't know, it's just not a pleasant odor, but it goes away. I wanted to just reassure you, if you make a full milk lye solution and you're like, oh, that does not smell good, it's okay. It does not come through the soap. It's just the reaction of it right in here in the pot, and it goes away. So no worries there. Let's just get this up to emulsion. It's the next day, and let me tell you, this smells nice. This fragrance did rise a little bit when I blended it, and it got a little gloppy going in the mold, but I think it's going to be fine. I did come in this morning and steam the top so it has a little gloss to it. Again, not a lot of soda ash, but it just looked a little dull, and I wanted it to be bright because that's kind of a simple top. And it did go through gel phase. So yeah, the fragrance, although it smells great, I don't know if I was super thrilled with how it behaved, but you know, this is going to be really pretty, so it might be worth it. Let's get in here and see what we've got, and we will decide if it's worth it or not. All right, I'm back with the lovely Olga, and I'm anxious to get in here and see how that in the pot swirl came out because it was so gloppy, but it's beautiful. It smells good. Yeah, so the performance on this fragrance was a little sketchy. It wasn't difficult though. I wouldn't call it a problem child fragrance, but kind of had to move a little at the end there to get going, and it riced when I mixed it, but anyway, these are beautiful. And I'm loving that this is kind of a abstract, not swirly, because this is a masculine fragrance. I want these to look kind of woodsy, and I think they kind of evoke that. I like it. Ooh, that's a pretty one. Yeah, these are interesting. It smells so good though. If you are a woodsy sort of, it has like a smoky overtone to it. So if you're into that sort of sandalwoody, woodsy, smoky scent, this is a good one. And of course, the full goat milk in here. These are going to be so skin friendly. I think they will just have a really rich, creamy lather. So that is always a good thing. So it's time to bevel and trim these up, and they've sat here since I cut them for a couple of hours, and I am loving the scent. So my final conclusion is the fragrance is worth the little bit of a hassle, the little bit of ricing, and you know, kind of a medium fast trace. I think it's worth it because these smell dynamite. I'm really happy with the way that the fragrance is, and I think they look really cool and earthy. So I'm thinking it's a yes for me. I wasn't sure at first, but final conclusion is it's a go for me.